Welcome to Heritage Trout Mapping on the secret cutthroat of the Sierra. High in the Sierra Nevada mountains, hidden deep in the shadows of Mount Williamson, are a series of lakes stocked with the beautiful trout. This trout, referred to as the most spectacular of the cutthroat trout, has a beauty that rivals that of the California golden trout, and a story almost as interesting as its intense crimson and bright yellow golden coloration. For this story, our narrative thread begins at the sharp point of a twisted strand of barbed wire. This strand runs parallel with 4 additional strands to form a fence, and that fence was used to contain the Japanese Americans during World War II at the Manzanar War Relocation Center. Manzanar was one of 10 camps born from Executive Order 9066, signed into effect by Democratic President Franklin D. Roosevelt. At its height, Manzanar held over 10,000 Japanese Americans. Now, the complex strands of narrative wire required to weave together a coherent history of Manzanar is enough to fill bookshelves and museums. But our story can be found in the pulling apart of these strands of barbed wire to allow the escape of the incarcerated into the freedoms of the high Sierra mountains and streams. It is here in these alpine streams that the people of Manzanar discovered some of the best trout fishing California has to offer. And it wasn't long before their aim of catching the iconic California golden trout pushed them high into the Sierra backcountry. This history is laid out in great detail in a documentary titled The Manzanar Fishing Club, and it is here that I first discovered the existence of the rare population of Colorado Cutthroat hidden away in the Sierras. If you haven't seen the Manzanar Fishing Club, I suggest you pick up a copy. It's a great documentary, and it tells the story brilliantly. However, I will say I do have one gripe with the film, and that's that the filmmakers don't actually go in and catch a Colorado cutthroat. I think a modern-day trip to Williamson Lakes would have been a great addition to the film. However, I do understand how a trip like that might not make the cut in such a complex story. In a way, this is partly my motivation for the trip, to add this small part I wish would have been included in the documentary. In a larger way, unraveling the history, biology, ecology, and culture surrounding a fish is always my motivation in heritage trout mapping pursuit. Oh man, got a late start, about 8 miles to go until camp. A little warm, still down in the valley, haven't made too much altitude gain yet. Hopefully it cools off a bit. Made it out of the canyon and onto some switchbacks. So start crossing these switchbacks all the way up to the top. Man, windy and hot. All right, see you up there. Not a good trail if you don't like heights. Yeah, it's loose footing all along here. It's where the rocks just sort of slide out. Not a very well maintained trail. So I definitely won't be filming and walking at the same time. I'll just be paying attention to where I put my feet. All right, made it to camp.
Got to filter water, ran out, and my mouth is super dry, sorry. But yeah, so that's number one. I'm gonna walk. The stream's just across the road, or the trail right over there. I'm gonna walk over there and get some water, and this will be our oasis, home away from home for the night. Glad to be here. It took a lot longer than I thought. Yeah, started out late and moving slow, but we're here now. Let's get camp set up, get some water, and get some food. See you in a sec. All right, day two, checking in with you at the bottom of Shepherd's Pass. This is the first major hurdle. I have to make it up to the top here. It's a long trek up there, and that's the first hurdle. Once we get to the top up there, it'll be the next hurdle. But here, I'll show you, I'll try to pan around a little bit and show you some of these views. That's looking down the valley and back up the valley. Yeah, so it's beautiful up here. Lots of rock, pretty much rock. So I'm gonna start hiking up, and I will try to capture some footage of the trail up there. See you at the top.
As the Colorado River Cutthroat is not native to the southern Sierra Nevada, one might wonder where they came from and how they got here. We can trace these cutthroats' ancestry back to a place known as the Cradle of Wilderness, or Trapper's Lake. For about a century, Trapper's Lake served as a hatchery resource for the artificial propagation of the Colorado River Cutthroat. However, in a plot twist routine in these stories, hybridization with hatchery rainbow trout was detected and spurred the search for a new genetic resource. Thankfully, the Trapper's Lake Cutthroat made its way to one of the most unlikely places during a fish exchange between Colorado and California in 1931. The exchange made was 25,000 golden trout eggs for 30,000 Colorado Cutthroat eggs. These Colorado Cutthroat eggs were received by the Mt. Whitney Fish Hatchery and later stocked into the priorly fishless Williamson Lakes for safekeeping. This location was chosen due to it being one of the most rugged and inaccessible areas in the southern Sierra. And as we navigate through this landscape, my hope is that I have captured both the beauty and ruggedness in a way that makes it apparent as to why this refuge population still exists today.
All right. Got to drop down over this rise into Williamson Bowl, and the lakes we're looking for should be off to the left. Yeah, navigating these rocks and stuff, it's a little difficult. They're I don't know how best to describe it. It's like walking on another planet. It's just it's a rugged terrain, different world up here. So anyways, I'm gonna try to film right as we go over so you guys can get a view of these lakes and what we're up against trying to get down to them. All right. Oh man, look at that. So down there, that's the first lake. And funny enough, we come right over this rise here and to begin our descent. And the wind stopped. It was windy all last night, all today, until right now. So, oh man, that would be amazing if we get down there and it's nice and still like this, and we could actually get a couple of casts in. All right. All right, dropped down into the first lake there, and I saw one fish. So I think I'm gonna follow this creek along. There's 2 more lakes down there, and I'm gonna follow along here and see if I see any fish in the creeks. And once I get over this little rise here, see how difficult it is to get down to the other lakes. But at least I know I can come back up to that lake and catch the one fish in the lake. No, I'm sure there's more. Just I just saw one. So, oh, I saw another one right here in the creek. You know what I should probably do? While I'm working my way down, I'll just grab my Tenkara rod out and put my net on, and I'll just drop it into little pools as I'm going. All right, here we go. Tied on a killer kabari, and I'm gonna start working this creek all the way down. I mean, mountain streams, that's what Tenkara was built for, so seems only right to be up here with the history of Manzanar and all that tied into this place. It seems only right to be here with a Tenkara rod, a Tenkara inspired fly, fixed line fishing this little mountain creek. So we'll see if we can pull our first Colorado cutthroat out of here. Super skittish. I just saw one zoom out. As soon as the line hit, it spooked him. So I'm gonna have to very carefully dab it into these little pools. Got a really light take. And then he saw the rod move, the shadow of the rod move, and took off, so. All right, so I guess I fished the creek a little bit. I got a bunch of really light takes. Couldn't set the hook. I was fishing downstream on my way down and pulled the hook out of their mouths a couple of times. But I guess the plan now is to descend down to these other 2 lakes. Man, I'm dreading that because It's not so bad down, but I got to come all the way back up this son of a gun today. It's a long ways, and you know, I've already descended from up there, and but you know, I made it this far, and I got to see it through. So I'm gonna put my Tenkara rod away, grab out my trekking poles, and then probably make my way over that direction a little bit and try to come down, drop down into these lakes. All right, see you in a sec. All right, back to the top of the hill.
Wait a minute. You might be wondering why I'm back at the top of the hill. Well, on my way down, my trekking pole gave out, which caused me to fall and slide for a ways. It wasn't a bad fall. It could have been a lot worse, but it did serve as a good reminder that I am solely responsible for getting myself out of here.
Yeah, I slid for quite a ways. Luckily stopped, got up, and I looked all over for the bottom half of my trekking pole. I can't find it anywhere. It's buried under that scree in the side of the mountain somewhere. So I just started making my way back up, but I thought, man, that's my casting arm there, you know, like I can't afford messing up my casting arm. So fun to joke about it now. Wasn't fun down there, but I'm back up to the creek, and I'm gonna probably drop my pack and go a little bit more serious on the creek. Try to catch Colorado Cutthroat there, and then take another look at that upper lake up there. But yeah, we're gonna catch one of these fish really fast, maybe a couple of them if we get the opportunity, and then hightail it out of here. It's a rugged place, man. Look at that. Beautiful Colorado Cutthroat. Heck yeah. That's what we're looking for. Look at that fish. Beautiful fish. Yes! Oh man. Long ways up here for that fish. I'm gonna keep working my way upstream. Yeah, it's just like fishing for goldens or anything else. If they see you, see any sort of shadow, they're out of there. So you got to get real low, sneak up on them. And then this guy was just sitting in the top of this pool, swimming along, waiting for stuff to come to him. Tossed it up right in front of him, bam! So fun. All right, let's go catch a couple more here. There we go. Had a second one in that little hole. Ah, got my shoe wet. That's not good. Look at that guy. Beautiful. That little mayfly. Beautiful Colorado cutthroat.
With the sun's looming threat of sinking into the granite skyline, I decide to start making my way back to camp for what will be my last night on the edge of what John Muir referred to as the range of light. And if I were forced to leave you with some parting words, I would say that no matter what thread leads us here, be it a fish, a summit, or the sharp jagged point of a barbed wire fence, we all have more in common than we might think, and it is in the pursuit itself that we find what we are truly looking for.